Indian Premier League is one of the most exciting leagues, not because fans can support their favorite teams or players, but for the simple fact that you can never know what to expect. Now, Wednesday's match between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Mumbai Indians was a classic example of this. A thriller, a close match, an absolute carnage by Sunrisers Hyderabad, who clearly outplayed Mumbai. They not only won by 31 runs, but went on to create IPL history. Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Henrik Klaasen all put up powerful performances to power Hyderabad to the highest IPL innings ever by scoring, if you're wondering, it's a total of 277 runs. Now, Mumbai Indian bowlers were hit all around the park and no amount of damage control could save them. But to better, understand what really went down there, I have my colleague as well as a guest joining us, my colleague Karishma and Joseph Hoover, who is a cricket writer. Good morning to the both of you. Karishma, let me come to you first. The sun has clearly risen for Hyderabad. Whenever a schedule is out, you're always looking at those interesting teams. For example, let's say a El Clasico with, a CSK or a Mumbai Indians. You expect something of this sort to happen. But tell us what went down, and did you anticipate for something like this to go? When did you think that, this is going to become the IPL history record that they've created?
Well, yes, absolutely. When Travis Head was scoring runs, and I remember him being 52 not out of just 18 balls, that was the moment that I said that Sunrisers Hyderabad are poised to score at least 250 today, and they went on to score 277 runs, and this was absolute carnage, like you said. And remember, Sunrisers Hyderabad, when the auction was happening, was the team that was going after the big foreign names. They spent a huge lot of money on Pat Cummins, 20 crores, I believe, or a little more than that. And he was, in fact, costliest before Mitchell Starc came in and he went to KKR for the highest price ever. You have to talk about Klaasen as well, SRH team, overseas players obviously coming together for what has been the best match of IPL so far. 277 runs, and more importantly, 523 runs in one T20 match is something that nobody would have fathomed would happen. And even Mumbai Indians, yes, they lost the match, but you have to talk about the fact that they reached close to the total of 277. They scored above 230 as well. Tilak Verma, Tim David, all of course performing. It wasn't the day for the bowlers from either of the teams, but to imagine that this is going to be the sort of batting display that we are going to see in an IPL match, in a T20 match, is something that is unbelievable. But then again, this is what IPL is all about. When you don't expect anything, entertainment happens, and this is top class entertainment. Whether you talk about Travis Head, whether you talk about Klaasen, whether you talk about even the Mumbai Indian batters, and a lot of people jokes were going around that Hardik Pandya wasn't in the India versus Australia final. So Travis Head is giving him a glimpse of what went down on the 19th of November. So, a lot of that was also being said around. There was fun banter as well. But this IPL match is, of course, going to be remembered for a long, long time, because last time when this sort of a score was made, I think it was RCB when they made 263, and AB de Villiers played a huge part in that.
Absolutely, Karishma. In fact, taking that last point of yours, RCB fans were also talking about the fact that they had some record to really celebrate about, and now that record also doesn't stand with them. But I appreciate you telling us all that went down in this particular match. Let's hope, as cricket fans, we get to see more of this and hope this record is also broken. But Joseph, you, of course, continue to stay with us. Thank you very much for joining us here this morning. We heard what Karishma had to tell us in terms of what went down in the match. For starters, what was that turning point? You thought that, in terms of the fact that Sunrisers would create history, and also with the fact that if we were to get in a word in about how Karishma pointed out that you also have to give it to Mumbai to having come that close. But the talking point here definitely has been Hardik Pandya's captaincy, which didn't really probably work. And it's not just fans, even a lot of cricketing experts believe that is what helped Sunrisers Hyderabad create this record. Is that how you look at it?
No, it's very unfortunate because he's just taken over the captaincy in Mumbai. We need to give him some time. He has done well at the Gujarat thing, so we should not write him off. It's just that in this kind of situation where the batsmen are going great guns, you cannot stop them. I mean, if you ask me what was the starting point, Travis said hammering those 24 balls, 60, and then you have Abhishek Sharma coming and hammering another 50 plus. So, but the trigger point here is how the match really took off was Klassen. I mean, he's the biggest power hitter we have seen now in international cricket. Earlier in IPL, we used to talk about Kieran Pollard and Henry Russell being the big boys of the big hitting club. But Klassen has shown what he is right from the World Cup. We've seen what he's capable of doing, and now he's continued in the last two matches. So he has set the bar now high, very very high. So it's for the rest of the power hitters to come in because see, the entire match can turn with just a 10 ball 30, 10 ball 25. This is how these kind of power hitters can change. So this is an advantage that Sunrisers have because they have the players who can come down at 7 and 8 and still blast the way out of trouble or even get a big score. This is going to be something which is going to be very interesting because as you're already talking about the record score, and it was expected. It has to happen sometime or the other. If you look at even the one-day internationals, it went past 440. So this is just the start. I mean, I would say this is just triggering. We could see scores, par scores of 250, 280, even 300 as time goes by because the game is evolving and players are becoming more powerful hitters than they were. And of course, there's an advantage here. The ground boundaries are smaller. Yet big hitters can clear the ball even into the stands. They hit the ball into the stands. And the way the bats have evolved, I mean, if Richards were playing in this period of time, it would have been a different ball game. So I see this is where the momentum begins now. Now that Klassen has shown what power hitting is, which are the teams which have that kind of power hitting options? Not many have that. Yes, we saw RCB's Dinesh Karthik coming and doing a cameo, but it cannot happen too often. He cannot be as big it as Klassen or Henry Russell. So who are the other teams who have these kind of power hitters? We just can write them off. Yes, Kolkata Knight Riders still have Russell, but other teams, who are the people who can take the match away? There are very few. And these are the people who are going to be, entertaining. And these are people, I mean, these are the players who everybody wants to watch, how they can trigger off. Klassen is an absolutely brilliant batsman. He set the bar high up. Now for the next power hitters to come into this game, it'll be very interesting to watch what they will be able to do.
Absolutely, Joseph. And in fact, like you did state, it was Klassen all the way. But if we were to talk about the original person who did power hit, has to probably be for RCB fans, at least the Gale storm that we would see thanks to Chris Gale. But on that note, I want to thank you for joining us in the show, telling us with the fact that not only what you thought of the match, but also that we could see a lot more of this entertainment in the Indian Premier League, which is, of course, exciting for cricket lovers.